One recipe from this episode will be in the Arts and Life section of the Winnipeg Free Press.
Welcome back to Great Tastes of Manitoba. We would never forget about Aaron Alblas from Manitoba Liquor Marts. We're going to turn to you in just a second to see what you did with all of this. But Susan Reese, very delicious with Manitoba pork. Let's walk through our recipes one more time because they were amazing.
Sure. Okay, we started off with our garlic and rosemary pork tenderloin with that warm balsamic strawberry sauce. Tons of flavor here with the garlic, the fresh herbs, the sweetness of that strawberry sauce. Just a perfect pairing. Our second recipe was our gorgeous coffee-crusted pork loin with the cranberry marmalade. Just that rub, I don't even know how to describe it.
I don't know how you came up with coffee.
It's wow,
like,
it's just awesome,
yeah.
right? Nice bark on that roast. And then we ended with the thyme-grilled pork chops with the royal blueberry barbecue sauce. Just simple ingredients, easy to make, tons of flavor in that meat with the bone and chop, and just a delicious sauce to go with it.
Join the Great Taste community. If you've got a question for one of our experts, or if you've tried one of our recipes, drop us a note at greattastesmb.ca or on our social media channels.
Very, very delicious. And you said earlier you were thinking you were not going to compete with these flavors. You were going to kind of like bring something together with your beverage pairings.
So when we're talking about pairing beverages and food, it doesn't necessarily have to be alcoholic beverages. That's what we have. Could be mocktails, could be juice, could be whatever. You can match or you can contrast. There's no real rules, but there are some guidelines. And because Susan had all these layers of flavor, I chose to match. So the first beverage that we chose is actually Tanqueray Gin. Gin has the essence of juniper. It's a flavored spirit. That's what makes it gin. But you often find other botanicals that are added into the flavoring process. Sometimes it's iris root, often citrus peel. So we have a soda water gin strawberry cocktail.
Oh, we're just like, oh.
Yeah, it looks
like
pretty.
If
it tastes pretty, it should look pretty. But I chose soda water instead of tonic water because you have the sweetness from your strawberries. Tonic is sweeter than soda, so we went with something dry, light, refreshing, very flavorful as well.
I love that rosemary sprig in there too. That's beautiful.
So juniper has a bit of a green herb pine flavor. Naturally goes well with rosemary. So for the second dish, you have the coffee crusted pork. And when we have a beer, we have Guinness, which is a beer known as stout. Stout is an ale. Stout gets its color from the ingredients that it's made from, which is barley. So barley goes through a process of germination before brewing, but then you have to stop that by exposing it to heat. And just like you would roast a coffee bean, the barley turns black. This is where you get this color from. Interestingly, Guinness is actually a light beer. I know some people are going to argue with me about this. 4% alcohol, very light in flavor, nitrogen carbonation, and sticking with the fruit theme, some cranberries.
Oh,
right in there.
That's cool.
Wow.
If you use frozen cranberries, you kind of have that same flavor going on as you do in Susan's recipe. And what happens then is they're going to meld together really well. They're going to marry very nicely. Lastly, we have Crown Royal, because that's what you used in the sauce.
I did.
And because it's delicious. Canadian whiskey, a mix of rye, barley, and corn. Big ice cube, a few blueberries. The savory quality of whiskey and the fat from those chops, the sweetness of the sauce, and then just the texture of the pork, delicious.
I don't know, I think you pulled it off, wouldn't you say? These look amazing. Thank you very much, Aaron.
You're welcome.
And thank you very much for joining us tonight here, Manitoba Pork, and we're so excited to have you back each and every Saturday night. Remember, all of these recipes, if you missed anything, if you want a few more details, you can always look it up, greattastesmb.ca, and we will be so happy to see you back here next Saturday night, right here on Great Tastes of Manitoba.
Great Tastes of Manitoba is presented by Manitoba Liquor Mart. Great Tastes is brought to you by greattastesmb.ca. Local farms, local foods. Great Taste is sponsored by the Government of Canada and Manitoba Agriculture through the Canadian Agricultural Partnership. Promotional consideration is provided by the Winnipeg Free Press. Des Daniels Wardrobe provided in part by Loca Boutique. Great Taste is produced in cooperation with participating Manitoba Commodities, Manitoba Agriculture, and Manitoba Liquor Mart. Great Taste is produced by Frank Digital.